Go ahead.
What is up, Reds? Welcome to the Sunday Summary. I am your host, Kyle. With me, as always, is Steve. Steve, Ryan Gravenberch finally signs for the club. Transfer window is shut. New midfield is rebuilt. How do you feel this morning? And are you ready for the match today?
Well, how am I supposed to feel?
You should feel excited, dude.
Like the general consensus of this window, was it a success? Because I feel like people are excited over Gravenberch because, right, we had to do that. Like, I think that, I don't know how much credit we deserve for doing something that we absolutely had to in our backs against the wall on the final day.
I'm not asking to give everyone credit. I'm just saying, dude, are you excited? We just signed Ryan Gravenberch. We
I am
signed
excited about that.
Bosley. We signed McAllister. We have some of the best young midfielders in the world in the squad now.
I'm just certainly happy about that. I'm a little concerned about center back.
As am I, with Van Dijk being out with the red card and now Konate still injured. We're looking at Matip and Gomez in the starting 11, and that's kind of what I want to lead with real quick. I'll share my screen here. Liverpool's starting 11, guys, is confirmed. And guess what, Steve?
Well, share it.
I am.
Here we go.
Be patient.
Jones.
Darwin Nunez.
I had a feeling this might happen.
Yeah, this is what I predicted.
No. I mean, somebody else in midfield besides Endo. I thought he looked slow last week. Slow, off the pace. So I figured somebody else would be slotted in here. I didn't know it would be Jones. Because isn't Thiago back fully fit?
No. Thiago had a setback, dude. He's out.
That's right. He did. He's not going to be healthy all year. I don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah, well, he's never going to be healthy, dude. He's never been healthy.
Imagine if he could, though.
Yeah, I know, but that hurts me because he never is.
Yeah, so you don't even want to imagine.
Yeah, exactly.
Get your hopes up.
Right.
But
look, just initial thoughts. What do you think about the lineup?
I think it's good enough to win. I think Gomez was pretty solid last time we saw him. I don't know, man. Like, do you think, because like Aston Villa, they're no pushover.
No,
it's not like this could be a match that looks similar to last week minus a red card, knock on wood. Like a tough match where you're like, wait a minute, like, are we outmatched here? And that's how I felt before the red card. I felt like they were way more dangerous last week. Really? Newcastle, that is. Yep. And I don't think it's outside of the realm of possibilities to have bits and pieces of the match today where we're like, ooh, this is a little sketchy. Because there's no Konate and Van Dijk, obviously. But this group doesn't play together.
Fair. But what I will say, when we went down to 10 men against Newcastle, I was very impressed with how Gomez played. So that gives me a little bit of hope. Midfield-wise, I'm very surprised to see Jones, given Aston Villa's quality. I mean, like you said, they're no pushover. You look at Aston Villa's side, dude, they're a pretty good squad. I think they're very underrated, and they have some good attackers, man. They just signed Diaby, and I was watching Diaby play the first few weeks, and Diaby's pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. So not only is Robertson going to have to be locked in on that right side, but Trent's got to be on his game today. Hopefully having the captain's armband on will give him a little extra motivation, but he needs to be dialed in today. Otherwise, he's going to get embarrassed.
I'm trying to find the lineup for Villa.
Unless
you want to pull it up?
No, I'm going to leave this up. Good morning to everyone in the chat. Dermot, Artio, Shayna, Oswald, Oyvind, Ryan, Inglese, Gary, Liz. What is going on to everyone? Make sure you smack that like button. Rob Scott in here as well. Fakito. Chan Kiwi, Can Kiwi, what is going on, everyone? Excited for you all to be here. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter show today just because we have the watch long and I want to get everything set up. But how do you guys feel about the lineup? Let's chat a little bit about Ryan Gravenberch. So the deal, Steve, we talked about this, went through. It's for a total of 45 million euros, 40 million upfront with 5 million in add-ons. That's going to end up being like 35 or 40 million pounds. I don't know exactly the conversion rate, but Ryan Gravenberch, a year and a half ago, we were talking about him being one of the best young wonder kids, midfielders in the world. And then he makes a move away. And this happens a lot, right? Look at Donny van den Beek. Look at Matthias de Ligt. Look at who's the other guy? De Jong. Like De Jong is probably the one who's kept level. He hasn't really fallen off. But these young players that make big moves to big clubs, sometimes they just fall off. All right. And I feel like this is an opportunity for Gravenberch to have like a rebirth. I don't know if you would agree, but I think it's a great signing for Liverpool.
I think it's Tuchel that just doesn't like him.
Yeah, I've heard that, and I don't know.
And
why.
He's also pretty brutal in the way he talks about him in like interviews. He wants to go to Liverpool and fight for a spot in a 4-3-3. Like, what drives me nuts is when new managers come to clubs and they're like, next thing you know, you're hearing reports that so and so's not in their plans. Like, you just come in and like trim the fat. He's got a lot of potential. Here's the thing. I don't know if he has an identity. I think he's athletic. I think he can do a little bit of everything, but you're going to have to find an identity if you want to fit into our regular 11, I think. Because let's just say everybody's fit, right? Thiago, Jones, Elliott, Endo, the two McAllisters, Dom, and then you have Gravenberch. So who plays? I think he's going to need to be more than like a utility style player in order to fit in. But I'm super excited that we got him. Like you said, he was one of the biggest names in Europe 18 months ago. So
Exactly. And I think you bringing up identity is a really good point, because when you're that young, and this kind of ties into what Stellar's saying here, do you have that mental, are you locked in? Are you locked in on who you're going to be and what kind of player you're going to be for the squad? And obviously coming into a new team, he's going to have to find that. And does he have the mentality to fight for a spot, right? I mean, because at Bayern, we heard in January he wanted to stay and fight for his spot, right? So I just think at 21, you're not fully mature yet. So hopefully, being around Gakpo and Van Dijk and just being in a team that's very weathered and very mature, I think that'll hopefully rub off on him a little bit, as well as a lot of the other young players. And he'll find his spot in the team, whether that's a rotational guy or whether that's a starter. You never know. Maybe he will find his confidence again, because honestly, I think his confidence was just kind of wiped off the face of the earth once he went to Bayern and once Tuchel took over and was like, look, you're not in my plans. And he wasn't starting consistently. Yeah. It was probably the first time in his life he wasn't starting consistently. And I feel like that has a lot of effect on these players. Especially
I think he had a single goal contribution all last season.
Really?
Yeah, that doesn't help either.
What pull up FB Ref.
I
want to see how he stacks up to all the other midfielders.
Yeah, I got you.
And didn't we figure this out the other day? Didn't we figure out you could share your screen?
I think so.
Oh yeah.
I got about 40,000 tabs up here.
Liz says, I think we should bring drink of the day back. So Liz, here we go. I'm going to do it right now.
Actually, beverage of the week, I believe it's called.
Beverage of the week? Yeah, no, it's not drink of the day, but it's all good.
It's beverage of the week, I think.
Beverage of the week.
We get what you mean.
Yeah.
So
here, I'll do it real quick while Steve is pulling this up. So beverage of the week right here. Solid coffee mug, right? And just so you guys can read it, Kyle, the man, the myth, and the legend. We got some Starbucks pre-made cold brew in here, not sponsored by Starbucks at all. This stuff has some great flavor. for being just a normal cold brew. You know how sometimes coffee, Steve, are it's very hit or miss if you make a cold brew. I feel like Starbucks cold brew is really good. So is Dunkin's, to be fair, but a lot of flavor in here gives me the energy I need to roast Chelsea and talk about Gravenbach. So I'm very thankful for that. And that's all I need in my life is a good cup of coffee. Now, Steve, what do we got?
We here?
Now, zoom in for me.
Yeah. Well, you're going to have to bear with me. I'm on Firefox, as embarrassing as this is, because StreamYard doesn't allow me to accomplish what I need to accomplish.
That's all right. We're
All
here
right,
for
so we're
you.
over here.
We're patient. Oh, wow. Look at that.
Goals.
The goals in the assist category are really low. But everything else, dude, is pretty damn good.
Progressive passes. I like this.
That's almost 7 progressive passes a game.
Take-ons, progressive passes. Yeah. Tackles. See, this is what I mean, dude. He's scattered across the board, and I think he could do a little bit of everything, which is kind of fine. But I just think if this is going to be the right move for him to come to Liverpool, you can't just be a jack of all trades. Otherwise, you end up playing like Milner. You start when we are in a pinch, and you see games out, and you play at different spots and different sides along the midfield. Maybe he's not going to play right back, but
or or you become a Gakpo. And Gakpo, except for today, obviously, has been virtually undroppable. And Klopp has used that to his advantage. He's played him across the front line. He's played him in midfield. I don't want you to think that just because this guy's a jack of all trades, he's only going to play in a pinch. Klopp loves a versatile player.
I don't think he's only going to play in a pinch. I think if he wants to be on the team sheet, I think he was a panic buy, number one, to an extent. Final day. I think if this guy wants to be in the starting 11 every week, he needs to either be more defensive or like have just a more solidified role. I don't know if anybody knows exactly what he is right now. That's what I mean.
I know he's handsome.
Like, do you want to be the defensive mid of this team? Because it's up for grabs.
He's not a 6. I mean, he could play a 6.
But you understand what I'm telling you. You have to you have to really, like, I feel like you got to be almost like a specialist in this side right now.
To start consistently.
Because McAllister and Soboslai, they're not getting dropped ever. So what does that leave, Kyle?
It leaves one spot open.
Right. Probably more so on the defensive side. Can he be that guy?
He certainly has the size, the potential, and can I also just bring something up? Aside from McAllister, have you noticed this transfer window? And honestly, since last year, Klopp has bought big players.
Yes.
Like they're all above 6'2".
Dom. Yep.
Crazy. I love that. Good morning to Ross and my mother in the chat. Operator Teremin here. Ryan Gravenbach. I'm just more excited than anything, dude. I'm really excited
it's good.
For this.
So pull up your lineup again. Is he on the bench? Is he around?
That's a great point. Give me 2 seconds.
I wouldn't be surprised, dude. This it's not really like this in some I feel like in some other sports. But like if you're in town, if you get signed and you're just in the vicinity, like you're dressing the next day.
Yeah.
Like Endo, bro. Like Endo played like 30 minutes, like 20 minutes after we signed him.
Trying to look here, dude. Liverpool.
I can tell you.
Liverpool FC need to step up their Twitter game. Dude.
He's not. Okay. Sorry, I had it here on my other. I got 15 tabs open. Yeah. It's Endo, Kwanzaa, Simikas, Jota, Doak, Gakpo, Elliott, Bajcetic, and then of course an absolute legend in Kelleher.
God.
And yes, Kelleher. He is a true legend. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh, I forgot about that legend debate. Dude, we need to hire somebody or we need to have someone that just clips these conversations we have. because it is very difficult to do to go in and clip. So if we have someone specialized, they can clip that, and we just put it up on the channel. Like, what
If
is
anybody wants to clip it, let us know.
Yeah, clip
Kyle
it.
knows how to do it. I probably could figure it out, but it's not really my thing. But Kyle, we're pressed for time. So who wants to do it?
Yeah, the legend debate. So,
it's one of the all-time greats.
Speaking of all-time greats, Nat Phillips on loan to Celtic.
Speaking of all-time greats is absolutely right. You're spot on there, pal. Good for him. Why don't we sell him, Kyle?
I don't think anyone's buying him, dude. I really don't. I think he's up for sale.
Listen, I think we loaned him. I don't know. This is my guess. I don't know anything about the deal, but I feel like there's a chance where there's some sort of clause where we can just pull him back whenever we want. Because
in a loan
here, yep. Well, I don't know if that's there in all loans. I don't know, but like, I think that maybe that's why he wasn't officially sold, is because of what happened this week. Why wouldn't Celtic want to buy him?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's probably the same price, or like maybe twice as much, and then you have the player. You own the player. If nothing else, he's worth a purchase for leadership and experience and who he's learned from. They're not attracting talent of players that have learned from Klopp on a regular basis. Those types of clubs.
Do you think that Liverpool actually kind of want to hold on to him in case we have an issue like we did a few seasons ago?
That's exactly what I think. Okay. And I think it was tough for them to let him go a couple days ago, because they probably saw the writing on the wall that Konate's not available. And Matip and Gomez are two of the most injury-prone players, not as much necessarily recently, like in the club's history, bro. And then you got Van Dijk that goes out, and he's not getting any younger. But I'm happy for Nat, because it looks like it appears that he fell behind Kwanzaa in the pecking order.
I'm excited to see what Kwanzaa can bring. It seems like Klopp favors him too. I mean, given him his Premier League debut, Klopp is really good at that, isn't he, dude? He gives young players chances. I really like that. But shout out to Liz Golden for the super chat, by the way. You know, just a standard critique of James Milner's pronunciation. James freaking Milner. Who wouldn't want to be Milner, Steven?
I think people would want to be Milner, but I don't think people that are 21 want to play that role, is what I'm saying. And you're right. It is James freaking Milner. I'm so sorry. What an absolute. Speaking of legend.
Speaking of all-time greats.
Yeah. Speaking of all-time greats is absolutely right.
God, one of the best free transfers to ever walk the face of the earth. Queasy, what's good, man?
He's still balling, Kyle.
No, of course he is.
Quietly balling in Brighton.
Yeah, he played right back the other day for Brighton. He's amazing. He's amazing. Yeah, I think you have to pay, but you can get him back from being on loan. Yeah, no. So I'm pretty sure there's here's what I used to think. I used to think that a loan fee or a loan, all the club did was pay like half their wages. There was no loan fee. But apparently there's a loan fee. Like you pay like 4, 5, 10, whatever the loan fee is, and then you do the wage split. But the club loaning the player out has full autonomy if they want to just bring the player back. They just have to pay a certain price back to the club that loaned them. So they need to use that. That is that is so smart. Like they need to adopt that in all sports. That's such a good way to do things.
Loans. I don't know if it works in other sports, and here's why. Because there isn't hundreds of teams that you can loan to.
True.
For example, like in the NFL, there's 30-something other teams that you could loan to. Like, there's just a smaller batch.
Yeah.
And then if everybody's getting loaned, then you got people that know each other's tactics and this, that, and the other thing. Like, you can loan somebody to Germany, and you never have to worry about them. You know what I mean?
I didn't even think about that. So this is why I keep you around, because if you did it in the same league, but I don't even think
I know where you're going with this.
No, but that's why there's a rule you can't play against them.
I don't know if that's the rule in the league, but definitely in the Champions League. But in any event, I don't think like there'd be collusion and like sharing tactics and like,
yeah,
maybe there is, but I don't care. That's not what I'm getting at. It's just a lot easier to have this model if there's hundreds of teams to work with, thousands, right? As opposed to just 30 others.
Yeah. Now, Mom, I'm trying to figure out what happened here. So the super chat's for 20, but the message says $5. So I'm not sure what you're trying to do, but thank you. Shout out to my mom.
Yes, always.
Yeah, I've actually never sent actually, no, that's not true. I've sent a super chat before, but it was a while ago, so I'm not exactly sure how confusing it is. But Dustin here says Kwanzaa and Doak are serious part of our squad. I agree, dude. I think Ben Doak is one of the best young players in the world right now. Wingers, I should say. He's so good. He is the success rate he has with successful dribbles, dude. Just taking players on. All he's missing is that final piece.
Dude, he's just as good as Mudryk right now already.
Oh,
just with the pace and the blistering pace. He's already as good as Mudryk.
Some people might say that's a hot take, and I'm just saying watch Doak play. Go and watch Doak highlights from preseason and thus far. Ben Doak is extremely good. He's just very raw because he's 17 and he's missing that final touch. Once he gets in the box, he needs to be a little bit quicker with his decision making. But other than that, Ben Doak is a really good player.
Yeah, I don't know if I think he's like one of the best young talents in all of Europe. We don't know yet, right? But I will say he's got blistering pace and his directness it's tough. Problem is I could see this year going by and barely seeing him play. That's in the league. In the league. I could see him playing in cup matches.
Oh, of course.
I could see him getting the cameo here and there in the league, but I don't see him playing much.
I just want to give a quick shout out to everyone in the chat. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like the stream if you're enjoying it. And don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Ben Doak is one of those players, Steve, where you're right. We could probably not see him play the entire season. But I still think he's going to have to play. Because there's going to have to be the games where Salah doesn't play, which are very few and far between. Ben Doak's going to play. Because we don't have anyone else on that side that can go out and be that successful taking on players on that side of the pitch.
But I think, all right, so let's just say Salah was hurt today. Do you think Ben Doak's going to start this match today? Like, I think there's a 0% chance.
No. No, he'd start Jota or Gakpo, but that's a good point. That's a good point.
Anyways, he's exciting.
I don't have a comeback.
I hope we get to see him more. I hope we're dominating teams and he can play because he can score. He can chip in across and get some assists. Like he's dangerous.
He is.
I just have a hard time envisioning a world where we see a ton of him this year. I think but maybe he goes out on loan at some point.
So like
next year, I don't know.
I think Ben Doak. So Klopp tends to do this. He'll hold on to a player for a year in the first team and play him intermittently just to kind of see what he has in him. And then based on that, he'll loan him out. He's done it every season since he started playing with the club. Okay, if we go back and we look at like young players, like he did it with Ben Woodburn, played him, loaned him out, realized that he wasn't really that good, sent him out. See you later. He did it with Leighton Clarkson. Leighton Clarkson played in the Champions League, the Premier League, for 1 year. Then we loaned him out, brought him back, and now we just sold him recently. So, but now I feel like the player, Tyler Morton, another great example. I feel like we have players now, though, that are actually really good enough to play in the first team and be like a super depth player. Ben Doak, Kwanzaa. I honestly think Bajcetic just skipped that process altogether. He's that good. And then you look at players like Cade Gordon. Like Cade Gordon, before the injury, I actually thought he could play. That's another winger. I don't know if you remember him. He's been out for like a year. But
another player we loaned out is the right back from Aberdeen.
Oh, Connor Bradley.
Ramsey. No.
Oh,
Ramsey,
yeah. And
kept him around for a year. He didn't play, but same idea.
Yeah,
See
he
what
just
we
got
got.
injured again too. I'm pretty sure.
His back
I don't know.
or whatever it was before, his hip.
It's pointless now. If the player has been here for 2 seasons, he's played 2 matches with the senior team, I'm pretty sure. 2. He's done. See you later. I've given up on him.
I think Klopp is like that too, honestly. I think Klopp feels that way.
But you don't, I can't blame Klopp. You don't have time to sit around and just wait.
No, you feel really bad for the kid.
Yeah.
He still deserves to be a professional and try, but I think you got to go elsewhere and get your treatment. As brutal as that sounds, you got to become someone else's problem. Now, let's just hope that he can bounce back and play, because I think there's a player there. I really, really do. And I wish him nothing but the best.
It's so crazy you say that, because we agree on this. Like, the games you saw him, you saw the flashes, right? You saw the way he played. You're like, I actually like this guy.
Yep.
That's how I feel. But it's unfortunate, dude. And every passing day he doesn't play is just another opportunity for Connor Bradley or someone like that to step up and really take over that spot. So there's that. But Steve, going back to the match today, you got score predictions for me?
Jeez. Last week I said 3-1. I felt better going into that match last week
than this one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, mainly because with Van Dijk
Virgil,
and Konate being out. Yeah.
Dude, this is gonna be a tough match against a tough team that's managed very, very well.
Aston Villa and Unai Emery. They are a good team.
They've only lost once, Kyle.
I know, but they've only played 3. So
I'm just saying, they got a couple wins under their belt already. So I don't know who they've played, I'm going to be honest. But actually, let's do this quickly. We'll see who they've played.
Well, Oyvind says 3-0. Liz says 4-1 LFC. Ross says 3-2 to us. I feel like we're going to get Allison. He's on it. Hopefully Allison can keep it out. But
they got smashed by Newcastle 5-1.
Was that opening weekend?
I think so. Okay. So then they beat Everton 4-0. Then they beat Burnley 3-1. Okay. Actually, this doesn't look very good at all. It looks like they beat who they were supposed to beat, and they got smashed by a solid team. So I'm going to go – I think our defense can be a little shaky. I'm going to go 3-1 again.
3-1 again? Okay, we got
but I don't feel confident in that at all, just so you know. That just petrifies me to say that.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I don't make predictions at all because I'm terrified. So Rob Scott says 2-1 to the Reds. Morali Podma 1. Thanks for a new name. Good to see you. Says 2-1. And Scott Barkley, new name, says no Endo already, no pure DM, ridiculous. Hey, man, come on. Let's be optimistic, all right? Let's be optimistic for once as fans.
That's what I'm saying, Scott. Does Gravenberch want to be that guy? It's up for grabs. Endo's not a long-term solution, I don't think. Let me put it this way. He was off the pace last week. He looked slow to me. He can make a 10-yard pass. No pace on the ball. I feel like he needs to get it. Drink a coffee, my friend. Let's move. I feel like Gravenberch has Ryan Gravenberch has played defensive mid. We haven't really seen him play in a couple of years. But do you want to be that guy, Ryan? You can be that guy. You can be Fabinho.
He has the size.
He does. And he's young, and it's we looked at his tackling numbers. They looked okay. Take that role, dude. Imagine him just being the new Hoover, that beast standing in front of the back line that can run all game.
Yeah. That would be good. And just to kind of sum everything up, right? He has that opportunity to be the DM if he wants it. Now, whether he wants it or not, that's a different story. But I think Liverpool today I just think Klopp looked at his lineup and he said, look, I have no other options at center back. I got to play Matip and Gomez. But in the midfield, I'm putting Jones in. I don't know why. I wouldn't have, but he's putting Jones in. And like we were talking about the other day, the way every player ended last season, they all sort of deserve a chance. So maybe that's why. Nunez absolutely deserves to start. Dude, let's just go get this W today. Let's play well. Darwin needs to show that he can start and not actually ruin our buildup. Like he needs to not I'm serious. He needs to have his touch on point today. So I'm excited to watch the match, guys. And again, appreciate everyone for tuning in. Make sure you come over and watch our live watch along here. We'll be going live in about 15 minutes or so. Steve, do you have any closing thoughts?
Just to echo what you said, I think I'm a little surprised at the lineup too. I know he loves Curtis right now. I know Klopp loves Curtis right now. But I also think he looked at that match and he said, unless I'm crazy, I think he's seeing the same thing I saw last week, and that was that Endo just looked off the pace. You're not going to look at that and go, wow, that was a terrible game. I just felt like people were just blowing past him.
I don't know.
Like he looked like he was playing in the 80th minute, and it was the 10th minute for Newcastle at times. That's what I saw. But then again, there's 11 players that we all watch every match, and some people miss things. I just remember seeing him and going, damn, dude, like get on your horse. Like 5 or 6 times.
Good closing thoughts.
Yeah, closing thoughts. Get on your damn horse. I used to be excited for these matches. Now I want to get them over with because I'm nervous.
You got to enjoy every minute.
I'm going to enjoy it, but dude, I'm just thinking about like, all right, if we can get through 3 points, then Konate needs another 3 days, and maybe Thiago can bounce back, and who knows what's going to happen with Van Dijk. You know, that's what I'm thinking about. How can we get back to full strength?
Hey, well, we'll find out here soon. This is going to be a good match. Shout out to Oyvind being a member for 26 months, dude. Can't say thank you enough. Thank you guys very much. And again, thank you to everyone tuning in. We'll see you shortly for the live watch along, Reds. And until next Sunday, Reds, take care.